Hello everyone. In this video, we are going to discuss about free, damped, forced and resonance vibration. This is the third video on wave and oscillations. In the last two videos, we discussed about progressive wave and stationary wave. Today's topic is different type of vibrations in which let us start from free vibration. First of all, this is the question, type of question, which is generally asked in the examination. So see this question and accordingly you have to prepare for the examination. Okay. So what is free vibration? See here. Vibration. What is vibration? Vibration means to and fro motion. If in day-to-day life you will consider the motion of a swing or wall clock, pendulum clock, in which there is a bob or there is a swing which goes on either side, right side, left side. It completes one oscillation in fixed interval of time. So here there are two types of motion which we want to discuss. One is vibratory motion, there is periodic motion. In a periodic motion, condition is that the motion should be completed in fixed interval of time. Whereas in oscillatory or vibratory motion, there is condition that motion should be about their mean point, to and fro motion. Okay. So suppose a body is vibrating. To start vibration, what we do, we apply force. One time we apply force and we displace the body. For better understanding, suppose there is a swing and we displace the swing from mean position on either side, right side or left side, and then released. So one time we displace the body from equilibrium position and then release. Then what will happen? You will see it begins to vibrate. It goes left side, return to right side, goes left side and continues. This type of vibration is called free vibration because one time we applied force, one time we give jerk to set into motion. And nobody is free to vibrate. We do not apply force periodically or time to time, and that is why it is called free vibration. Here, the frequency with which body is vibrating is called free, not free, but natural frequency. So, see here, this one is the natural frequency. So, this is the free vibration, no damped vibration. Actually, when we set a body into free vibration, if there is no any limitation, there is no any restriction, there is no any opposing force, there is no any resisting force, then the body will vibrate with constant amplitude. There is no any question of decreasing or increasing amplitude. It will vibrate with constant amplitude. But actually, it is not so. In day-to-day life, you will see that, or we see that when we set a body into vibration and if body is vibrating freely, its amplitude goes on decreasing slowly, slowly, slowly. Why? Because there is air resistance. There are different type of opposing forces there. So its amplitude gradually decreases Such type of vibration is called damped vibration. Okay. Now, forced vibration. See here. Free vibration, damped vibration, resonance. Actually, forced vibration is this one. Here, forced vibration. When a body is set into in vibration, actually this one is no, sorry. See here. Forced vibration. When body is set in vibration under the influence of an external periodic force. In the pre-vibration, what I told you that when a body once set in vibration and if it is vibrating freely with its natural frequency, then it is called free vibration. But suppose a body is vibrating freely and now we apply periodic force, time to time we apply periodic force. Then what will happen? Body is vibrating with frequency, suppose 20 hertz, and the force which we apply is 40 hertz. So here natural frequency is 20 hertz and force which we apply is 40 hertz. Then what will happen? In the beginning, body try to oscillate with its natural frequency, means with 20 hertz. For example, but finally the body is forced to vibrate with the frequency of the applied force. So what we learned here, if a body is vibrating freely with a certain frequency and now we apply force, maybe periodic, time to time, except after a certain interval of time we apply force, whose frequency is more than the natural frequency, then body will start vibrating with the forced vibration or forced oscillation. Why? Because in the beginning it will try to oscillate with its own frequency, but impressed force try to impose the frequency of the forced frequency. So there is a sort of tussle. Sometimes amplitude increases, sometimes decreases because sometimes it supports, sometimes it opposes. But the result is that the body starts vibrating with the frequency of the forced applied force. No, amplitude does not change. Here, one thing you should note that amplitude is not changing here. Only frequency of the body which was vibrating with natural frequency, its frequency becomes equal to the frequency of the applied force. This is the change. So in free vibration it vibrates with only frequency. In force vibration it is compelled to vibrate with the frequency of the applied force. Okay. Now resonance. Actually, resonance is the special case of force vibration. Just I was saying to you that when a body is vibrating with lower frequency and a strong force is applied with a larger frequency on the body forgets its own frequency and compelled to vibrate with the larger frequency. Amplitude will not change. But suppose, fortunately, or unfortunately, suppose the frequency of the body which is vibrating freely and the frequency of the applied force which we apply on the body frequency matches, means both the frequencies same, then the result will be different. This result will be different from force vibration. because in force vibration body accept the frequency of the applied force. Here body will not accept the frequency of applied force because frequency is same. So what will happen here? Here amplitude will increase. Here frequency does not change, amplitude increase. So these are the different type vibration. Now we will discuss theory of force vibration. As I told you, when a body is set into vibration, there are a different type of force on the body which opposes the motion. First force is the force restoring force. So the role of this restoring force to bring back the body in its initial position, which is directly proportional to displacement. It means restoring force is directly displacement. Here we use a constant mu. So mu is a constant. Negative sign here indicates that restoring force is directed opposite to the displacement. If displacement is right side, restoring force is left side. Now, second force, resisting force or frictional force or retarding force, which is directly proportional to velocity. Here, velocity is equal to dy by dt. See this one. And this one is constant r. Again, here negative, as I explained in the previous case, that it is the opposing. So here minus. Now third is external periodic force. External periodic force means which we apply from externally. F sine pt. What is p? P is the angular frequency. So we are going to write equation of motion from Newton's second law. These are the resistive force. This has the restoring force, and this is the external periodic force, and this is the mass into acceleration. As you know from Newton's second law, total force is equal to mass into acceleration. So now we solve with this. M is actually M is here. We set simple calculation here. You can see we have arranged this, and now we divide the total terms by m. You will get d2y by this one. Okay, now see here, this is r by m. R by m, we assume this as 2k here, and this is mu by m, we assume omega square, and f by m, this one we assume is smaller, and set here we get this equation. And now sine pt minus alpha, actually see here what I am going to do. Sine pt here, one alpha is added, one alpha is subtracted, so the calculation or result is same, but we can use the formula sine a plus b, which is sine a cos b and cos a sine b. Now we equate the coefficient of sine pt minus alpha. How? First we get write the solution of this equation, this one. What is a? A is the amplitude, resultant amplitude. Now one time we differentiate it, second time we differentiate, and we take the value y here, dy by dt from here, and d2y by dt square from here. Okay, so finally on substituting we get this one, this one. And see here, this is sine pt minus alpha, this is sine pt minus alpha, and we can, one mistake is here, this a will not be here, this a by mistake, printing mistake. So first we equate the coefficient of sine pt minus alpha, then equate the coefficient of cos pt minus alpha. Now we square these two and add to get the resultant amplitude A. And if we divide these two, we get 10 alpha. Okay, so once we get a value of A, we can get here this equation for y is equal to a sin pt minus alpha. We can set the value, but this solution is not complete in itself. Okay, its complete solution becomes when we set f is equal to 0, and if we solve you will get this one. So its complete solution will be this one and this one. So finally we will write like this. Okay, this is the complete solution. But here only this term is important, this term is not important. So finally we leave it and we write actually this one. And last part which we are going to discuss as your question, in the question last part is, or tail part you may say, discuss the case of resonance. What is resonance? Actually, resonance here means the case when we get maximum amplitude. So now we think how to get maximum amplitude. How to proceed? See here. We come to the amplitude, final amplitude. Here denominator is this one. So if denominator is 0, then a will be maximum. And this can be 0 only when if its differentiation with variation will be 0. So we differentiate it to get 0, and finally we get this one. If this omega is equal to k, suppose a case or a situation comes when k is equal to 0, k is equal to 0, automatically p is equal to omega. If p is equal to omega, then amplitude will be maximum. This is the, or you may say, impressed frequency p is equal to natural frequency omega. In this situation, amplitude becomes maximum. Okay, so thank you.